Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am here with my ML-Class W164 chassis Mercedes Benz, and today we are going to be doing a complete brake fluid flush on this vehicle. Now this video is actually the fourth video in a series which I'm doing, which I'm naming front to back, where we are replacing every single fluid in this vehicle. We started with the radiator, then we moved to the power steering, then we did the engine, and today, as I mentioned, we are doing the brake fluid. Now this is actually a scheduled service item, the brake fluid, which needs to be done every 2 years. So looking to the future after we've completed this video here today, we will be jumping under the vehicle and we're doing the front diff, and then we'll be working all the way through to the rear differential to complete that series of videos. But enough about that, let's get into the brake fluid flush today. So let's have a quick look at what we require to do this job. We are going to need a litre or so of .4 plus equivalent brake fluid. I've got a syringe here to extract the old brake fluid out of the reservoir before we start. 11mm spanner to release the bleed screws on each wheel. And then I've got a pressure brake bleeder kit, which I purchased off of Amazon as a complete kit. We've got the pressure bleeder itself, a cap for European vehicles, and then a container to capture the waste brake fluid out of each wheel cylinder. So just a quick comment on the pressure bleeder, folks. You do need to use a pressure bleeder where we apply pressure to the system on this vehicle because it has ABS brakes. And what the pressure does, it actually opens those ABS valves and does a complete flush of the ABS unit as well as the complete braking system. So the first thing I've done is driven the vehicle onto some pavers on all four wheels, front and rear, and then I've raised the airmatic suspension. Now for me, this is far easier than removing all four wheels, as I can access the brake bleeders from underneath the vehicle now. So we are going to start by extracting the brake fluid out of the master cylinder that's in there currently. Now, the first thing you need to do is to locate your master cylinder. So you can see mine is here behind this firewall, but depending on whether your vehicle is left-hand drive or right-hand drive, it may be on the left-hand side. Now, the easiest way to work that out is it's simply on the driver's side of the vehicle. So because brake fluid is corrosive and we don't want to damage the paint, I've got this big old sheet which I've laid around here, as you can see, to catch any spills that might actually occur. So let's get this old fluid out of this master cylinder, take that cap off and put it to one side. And then there's a screen in there which we can take out as well. And then we can use our syringe to get right down low in that reservoir and suck that old fluid up. Now I'm just gonna catch it in this bottle here. You can see from the color of that is really dark, so it's clearly well overdue for a change. So I've just repeated with the syringe off camera until we've got absolutely all of the fluid out of that reservoir. And as I mentioned, you can see from the colour that this is certainly overdue being replaced. Look at that dark brown colour. So with the old brake fluid removed, we'll just pop that screen back in, and then we will top up the reservoir with brand new .4 plus equivalent brake fluid. Just use a funnel here so that we don't spill any fluid. So now that we've got that reservoir absolutely full, we will screw our European car fitting on top of the master cylinder like that. And then we will fill the pressure bleeder with brake fluid. So we then want to fill our pressure bleeder. As you can see, my kit came with that nice little tool there to undo the cap. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the remainder of that first container in the bleeder. And then I'm going to put a whole another container. So I'll be using a 1 litre in total of fluid here today. So with that fluid now in the pressure vessel, we simply do that up and we are ready to start. So with the pressure bleeder ready to go, we simply put that up there, somewhere it'll sit, and then we put the quick connect fitting onto that cap like that, And then what we want to do is we want to pump this up to 19 psi. Because 19 psi is the pressure which is going to open those valves in the ABS unit. So with our pressure bleeder set up and holding pressure, we're now going to grab our disposal container and our 11mm spanner, and we're going to jump under the vehicle. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to start at the bleed point underneath the vehicle the furthest away. So we're going to come across to the passenger side rear under the vehicle. Then we will do the driver's side rear. Next we'll then go around to the front passenger side, and finally we'll finish off on the driver's side front. So hopping in under the rear of the vehicle to start with, you just come around to the front side of the tyre, and you can see up in here that we've got the bleed nipple there, up there. So what we'll do is we'll start by getting that rubber cap off, and then we'll get our bottle set up on there, and we will crack that and bleed it out. So pop that rubber cap off, just like that. We can see that there straight away, the bleed nipple. All right, so we've got our waste bottle positioned onto the bleed nipple like that. And now what we're going to do is we just crack that bleed nipple with our 11mm spanner. There we go. And straight away we can see that old fluid running through there. So having done the passenger side rear, I've now moved on to the driver's side rear, and we're just bleeding that fluid till it becomes clear on this side, and then we'll move on to the front. So I just show you on the front side where to find the bleed nipple. So coming in from the front, we're on the front left. You can see the brake caliper right up there at the top with the bleed nipple at the top there. We've just removed the rubber cap and we've popped the waste bottle on, and then we will crack that bleed screw like we did the rear, and we will drain the excess fluid. So finally I've finished off by bleeding that driver's side front off camera. You've seen me do the front left, so it's the same thing there. You can see we've taken a fair amount of fluid through the system here, and that's pretty manky in there. So final thing to do is now just release the pressure from your pressure vessel. And it's important to release all of that pressure. And then we'll remove the cap, we'll adjust the fluid to the correct fluid level in the brake master cylinder, and then we'll take the car for a test drive. Alright folks, so just taking the car for a quick test drive. Absolutely important to test drive the vehicle after doing anything on the brakes. What I'm going to do is hit the brakes really hard, and as you can see it's pulled up there really firmly and strongly. What I'll do next, I'll just get it up to speed again, and I'll do a brake test without even holding the steering wheel. So you can see that folks is really fantastic. It's really pulling up well. So the brake fluid change, as I said earlier, is a routine service item. Should be done every 2 years to keep the brakes in absolutely optimum performance braking. And also this video is a video in a series of front to back, which I'm doing, replacing every single fluid in the vehicle. We've done the radiator, power steering fluid, engine, now we've done the brakes. Now we're going to jump under the vehicle in the future, and we will start with the front differential, work our way through to the transmission, transfer case, and all the way through to that rear differential, folks. So if you're interested in seeing any of those videos in the future, do subscribe to the channel. So there you go folks, there's how to do a complete brake system flush and bleed on a Mercedes W164 vehicle, or in fact pretty much any generic Mercedes vehicle. The procedure can be adapted to. The car's now tucked away and there's a little bit of final cleanup to do. But one final thing to note is do remember to responsibly dispose of the old brake fluid. And as always, if you have liked this video, do feel free to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, have a good evening.